We are back in London. After 2 years of being in Winchester, we sort of made the call to move back to London. We've been here now for about 6 months, but still kind of feels like we're settling into our new place. One of the things I always found with that flat in Winchester is I never felt super comfortable filming because we were on the ground floor and in a communal apartment block where lots of people walked past and could see in, and it never felt super secure. And we did have one break-in whilst we were there, but yeah, I thought it'd be nice to kind of show where we're living now. And yeah, we're slowly sort of, it's a rental, so we're slowly sort of making it feel like a home, but it always takes a bit longer with these rentals. But yeah, this is the bedroom, so slowly sort of getting everything to kind of feel like a home. This is where I work, my desk for the week. As you can see, like, most of this flat is kind of like bare walls at the moment, but yeah, slowly getting there. But yeah, I spend pretty much every day working at this desk. And then we have this super narrow corridor. We have the bathroom, which has a bath, an essential in life. Can't go without a bath. But yeah, coming up here into the flat, and to me, this is the highlight of the flat. Like a nice big kitchen, got a nice big dining table. I've got the same movie posters from the old flat. And then we've got the living room. This is by far the coziest room of the flat. And this was like the first room of the flat that we like spent a bit of time on making it nice. And then this is the second bedroom, or really it's just an office where Cecilia works. So I spend most of my time working down in the bedroom and Cecilia works here. But yeah, it's a much sort of, I don't know, it feels like a bit more of a grown-up flat than our last place. But I haven't really figured out the best place to film. In the old flat we had the office, and it was a really nice, like, sort of normal shaped room. And I spent a bit of time getting it set up so it felt like a nice place to film, but I haven't really got a natural space for that here. So yeah, just playing around a bit and trying to make it feel like a cozy home, but also a place where I can sit down and chat to the camera. One thing I've also been playing around with a lot is film cameras. So just kind of experimenting and playing around with some old film cameras and sort of getting my films processed and sent off to get developed. Yeah, it's quite nice experimenting with some older photography. This is my granddad's camera, really nice old Pentax, which has such a nice camera strap on it. Such a nice camera strap. It's crazy to me that these cameras are like 50 years old and yet take amazing photos. Yeah, just a bit of an expensive hobby. Probably costs somewhere like £1 per photo. So yeah, it's not the cheapest hobby in the world, but I'm enjoying it. So yeah, this is the flat. Similar size to the old one, but much more of like an interesting layout rather than a box with some walls in. And it's definitely got a bit more character. So yeah, just kind of slowly decorating it, making it feel like it's ours, and yeah, getting some nice pictures up on the wall, and yeah, settling in. We moved back to London about 6 months ago now. We'd been in Winchester for a couple of years, and you know, realised pretty early on that it wasn't going to be the place where we were going to spend the rest of our lives. You know, there were bits about the city we loved, like the running club and the running community, and the access to trails in Winchester is just amazing, and you know, it's a very pretty, beautiful city. But we kind of realised quite quickly it wasn't for us, and we weren't going to spend a long time there. Came up with this big plan. We thought, right, we're going to move to Sweden. And so we started making these plans for how we can get jobs and visas, and obviously Cecilia's from Sweden, so yeah, it's a lot easier for her, but still needed to sort out work. And at the moment, the job market in Sweden isn't great, and I found the visa process wasn't actually the easiest thing either. And so after trying for about a year, we kind of realised actually we've been in a place that we know we're not going to be in long term, and we just needed to make a change. We needed to make a move, so made the decision to move back to London. And so this summer has been super busy, looking for a place and then finally moving, and hence why this year's been a bit disruptive from on the channel, not being able to make as many videos. But yeah, we finally made the decision. We finally found a flat and we moved in around August time. So yeah, have been in this place for about 6 months. We've moved to a place called Barnes, and it's kind of between central London and Richmond, down in southwest London. And yeah, it's got some similarities to Winchester, but access to the city is like a big thing. My commute to the office when we were in Winchester was like 2 hours in, 2 hours back, so 4 hours of travelling anytime I needed to go into the office was a little bit painful, whereas now we've got a 20-minute train into Waterloo, which is literally like round the corner from our house. So super easy commute into the office, which yeah, is nice from a work perspective, but also social perspective. Like been getting back, catching up with friends, and yeah, been doing a lot more socialising than I was in Winchester. It means I'm drinking a lot more, but yeah, it's nice to catch up and see people. Barnes has kind of got this like villagey feel. It's definitely still London, but it's got a lot more greenery. You've got the river path, so I'm running along the Thames on a regular basis. We've also got Richmond Park just around the corner, so spending a lot of time running the trails around Richmond Park. It is such a nice spot for running down here by the river. Definitely one of my favourite spots. I've been struggling a lot this Christmas with colds and illnesses, so training has been pretty bad for the last few weeks. Oh, I actually made it through without the lights changing. Oh, so I was out running yesterday by the river, and then the GoPro died, so I thought I'd bring it out again today. And I'm heading out today for my second favourite spot to go running around here, which is Richmond Park, and a beautiful place to run on a cold, frosty morning. What I was trying to say yesterday before the camera cut out is that I've had a lot of like chesty, mucousy coughs over Christmas, so I've kind of had like 3 or 4 weeks without properly training. So yeah, I'm kind of now getting back to a point where I can get back to training, getting back to running. So kind of in a phase now where I'm just rebuilding, easing back into it. But yeah, so nice to be back out running. I'll go a bit mad if I'm not able to train. Haven't seen any deer out today, but there are some big ones out here. And I had an experience a couple of months ago where I was running through the middle of the park through some woods, and suddenly I heard this massive like roar, and one of the big deer was huge antlers on its head. It was just staring straight at me about like 20-30 meters away. was absolutely terrifying. This is such a nice loop. Takes like about 90 minutes from my house to do a full lap of Richmond Park, and it's mostly trail, but there are a few sections of road, but it's usually pretty runnable as well, so don't need like super technical trail shoes or anything like that. But yeah, it's just a beautiful place to run. Oh, I am so happy to be out running long again. Oh, this is so nice. It's been like a month without proper training, so yeah, very, very happy right now. It is always at the end of my run that these barriers get me. Oh, hopefully it's not a long wait. About 3 months ago I got a new job, so I'm having to be in the office a lot more than I was previously, so pretty good timing actually with moving back to London and getting the new job. It's been a busy, hectic time, but I think, you know, at least for the next few months things are going to settle down a bit, and yeah, who knows what happens next. And we've still got this long-term plan of moving to Sweden. I think you know, it might be 2 or 3 years down the road when, you know, maybe the job market improves and then we got the visas lined up, but for now we've decided that yeah, we're going to stick around in London for a bit and stay here. I would say that training over the last few months has been a bit disrupted. I seem to have picked up quite a lot of colds and illnesses since maybe September time. For the last 2-3 weeks I've not been able to run because I've had like a chest infection, and I think I had colds after the 100 miler and colds leading up to the 100 miler, so yeah, hopefully that's all behind me now. I can start to get back to regular training and building up my volume again. I do have Manchester Marathon in April, and I haven't really planned out my races beyond that, but I'm starting to sort of think about the possibility of maybe doing the Centurion 100 miler Grand Slam in 2026. So yeah, 400 milers in a year. Never done anything like that. Would be a big challenge, but yeah, kind of got my mind on that at the moment, about thinking about potentially doing that. I think it'd be fun. The races are all pretty convenient to get to for me, and yeah, it would be 4 back-to-back 100 milers in a year, but wouldn't be super expensive from a travel perspective, so yeah, might be a good option. One of my big plans for this year is to spend quite a bit more time documenting our life in Barnes and back in London, and just using my camera more. So I've set a New Year's resolution of using my camera, filming every single day. Whether I use the footage or not doesn't really matter. I just want to get into the habit of using my camera all the time and building up a backlog of footage that I can use on the channel. Just kind of documenting everyday life and training and all sorts. So yeah, that might be my big camera or the action camera, yeah, and maybe even the drone, just kind of playing around with cameras every day, whether in a small way or a big way. But yeah, hopefully something fun comes out of it. Cool. Well, cheers for watching. Hopefully I can churn out a few more videos this year than I did last year. Cool.